Well, folks, welcome back to the lab. And I have a new project here, and this is a first for the lab. This is the first DIETZ WIZZARD we're doing here in the lab. So, very exciting. And I found this. I was in such a mood to have a project, and I knew I was out of projects. After I went to the museum, I'm sure you would have seen the video by now. I went to the museum and checked out their amazing lantern vault. It was very neat. So I went out and I was rummaging through an antique shop full of numerous incredibly overpriced lanterns. And just as I was about 99% done, about ready to leave the store, I saw this peeking around the corner. I'm like, oh, okay, well, it's another D-Light. You know, I'll go check it out just for fun. I mean, there's no way this is going to be, cheap. So I'm like, oh, wow, it's a wizard. Great. And I tried my little tactic of asking them to give me 10% off. And they checked the book, said, oh, well, if apparently everything over $25 for this particular seller, they will offer 10% off. So I got 10% off. So very cool. So I'm excited to have this. So this is pretty much a D-Light. I mean, it is. It's a D-Light. This became the D-Light. This was the Wizard. This is, by the way, this one was made in the main plant in New York City in 1915. This was made in June of 1915. Very cool. However, I didn't notice it until last night, and I was looking at the pictures, and I'm like, man, where the hell is the lift mechanism? And I'm like, just not there. I'm like, no way. Did the Wizard come without one? Yeah, right. No. Well, you can see here the holes for the mechanism. And you see here. And it also, I just happened to notice that this had been painted since that has been gone, because whoever spray painted this flat rattle can on here, spray painted over, all the solder and everything. So we know. I know that this had not come off since the paint job. So this has been gone for a long time, and they painted over it. But luckily, I don't want to say luckily, but I had a junk D-Light that had just been kind of sticking around. I mean, you can see the nightmare that was this thing. Yeah. It's a doorstop now. But what I did do, I knew I saved that. So I'm pretty sure that's going to fit right in here. So how cool is that? All right, let's get to it. So I want to check this thing out. And I don't think there's any other parts that I'm going to need from this. All right, let's get to it. DIETZ WIZZARD. Pretty cool. Okay, so let's see what we got here. And I saved a couple of these. I know I'm going to need one of those. And with this should, in theory, bolt right on there and slip right in. So this needs, as you can see, 1928 D-Light. It's just so good to save parts. All right, so yeah, I can see all the points here where this is supposed to reside. Yeah, let me paint it over those solders. Okay, so I think first I would want to get this on the grinder, get this paint off it, and make sure this is all nicely polished up. So solder will stick to it, and then we'll, and I am also quite relieved that I see that this is rattle can paint. Yeah, it's been falling off, obviously. Let's see. There's ham radio going in the background here. I do apologize if it's a little much. Okay, inside the tank was great. Great. Great for a 110-year-old lantern. All right, let's see. That's good. Oh. That's a big beauty too. One of the older ones. They didn't start making the D-Light until 2018, 2000, or I'm sorry, 2000. Yeah, wow. 1918, 1919, somewhere around there. All right, so we're gonna need one of these. Beautiful. Great. And this is in just great shape as well. Ah, okay. We have a wick in the fount. For good omen. Nice. Is that it? Okay. We'll use that. All right. I think what I should do, because I'm going to be soldering on there. Yeah, you can see with the solder all been painted over. So this paint's coming off. I know it looks old and it's just peeling off everywhere. So we're gonna get rid of it, and this shouldn't take long at all. And I can see where they just barely painted it on. Okay, I don't think this thing had been used since it was painted, to tell you the truth. Okay, so I'm gonna go yeah, this should not take long at all to get that paint off of there. Let's see if I can get this off. Since it's got a bail lock, it's most likely I'm not gonna be able to get this off. Yeah, I'm not gonna force it. It's got a bail lock on it, so we'll leave that on. I'll go to the sink, get that going, and then in the interim, oh yeah, they painted over that. Oh, look at the interesting, how much less holes there are in the glow plate in this 1915 version. Interesting. Lock knob. Okay, we will, let's go get some paint off. And then I'll be back to go play on the bench grinder. Yeah, that's got paint on it too. Yeah, see, look at that. I mean, no discoloration, nothing. So I'm sure this was painted and slapped on the shelf somewhere and never used again. That was too bad. But I'm going to be firing it up today. Maybe, if I get it completed today. All right, let's do that. I'll be back. Okay, so this, yeah, cleaned up great. Beautiful. I just hope it fits. Should be all right. And I got the bends out of that. There's a bend here. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be there or not. We'll find out. We'll find out. I'm just going to clean this up in here. This came out really nice. Just going to do a little cleaning up. Okay, so we are back, and we have less paint now. All right. We're going to take this over to the bench grinder, clean her all up. This is going to be gorgeous. I can just tell, and I see that this is loose here. There's some solders I can fix. So we got some work to do. We got some work. Ooh, boy, that's... Ooh. Okay. Gotta take it easy there. All right. Wonder if I shouldn't repair that before taking it to the bench grinder. Maybe I will. Yeah, I should, because that's really loose. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. I'll go over and clean these up. I'll be right back. Gotta let this dry out a little bit. And we're gonna repair that solder. And then, yeah, okay. All right, be right back. Okay, so, yeah, this is a little hairy. It's a little hairy here, because that's not a solder weld. That's a spot that popped out. Not exactly sure. Maybe I'll just have to plop a bunch of solder down in there. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to dry these out real good. Dry up all that soapy water. Water hanging out everywhere here. I can hear it sizzling. All right, I'll let that dry things out. I'll grab some other tools. Yeah, so while that's drying out, it's nice and warm, got it all warm. While that's drying out, I'm just gonna take a junk bit and I'll work on this while that dries out a little more. Okay. All right, let's see what we can fix up here. All right, let's see what I can do here. I need to reposition you. Hold on a minute. All right, let me fix this big crack first. That'll help anchor things out a little bit. Yes, all right, so. Okay, let's see what we can do to help here. Okay, excellent. I think. All right, let me see if I can fill a little gap here too. Oh, good, good, good. That's a good little anchor right there. Good, good, good. Plop a little acetone on there, cool stuff down a little bit. Now, come over to the other side. Okay, I'll see if I can plop some in this gap. Unfortunately, there is a gap going down inside there. And we'll see. All right, I'm just looking for a couple good anchors. Right around there. We'll see what happens there. Grab it and hold on to it a little bit there. Okay. Does not want to hold on to it too well here. I guess we gotta scuff it up a little bit. That's what we want right there. Yes. Beautiful. I ain't going nowhere, I don't think. Beautiful. Now I got some solders over here. Fix this one up. Acetone. Beautiful. And this side didn't even have any on it. That's interesting. Okay, now I can take it to the grinding wheel, clean her all up. And I already kind of cleaned up around here. For where we're going to put the lift mechanism. But I'm going to clean up the rest of this first. All right. All right, where we are, rock solid now. Beautiful. Yeah. Crooked. But what do you want? 115 years old. 110 years old. Who's counting? Okay. I'm going to take this over. We'll leave the tools out here because we're going to need them when we get back. All right. To the bench grinder I go. I'll be right back. All right, so I'm in the process of working on this on the bench grinder, and I thought maybe it had broken a tab off, but it just crushed them, that's all. So I want to get this crown off, and we'll repair the problem. I'll show you here in a sec. So this thing was probably dropped, and it just bent these over. No problem. I'll straighten them back out. Okay, and we'll take care of that. Cool. All right, back to the grinder. Back to the grindstone. All right, so yeah, things are looking really nice here, man. This metal's in great shape. It's gonna be so nice. So nice. So I think I'm gonna go right to nice fresh wire wheel, because this has no issues that are going to destroy these bits, because there's no rust on this thing. And I'm feeling it now as I want to try to get rid of some of this flux that's all over here. A little sticky. And you leave flux on there, it'll bring rust. Because that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to etch the metal so solder will stick to it. And it'll etch it and let the rust get in. All right, that should help with that. Let that dry up. Wow. I'm hearing a lot of noise on the shortwave. Means conditions are getting good or bad, depending on how the way you look at it. Okay, so I'm gonna start here. Normally I'd get like a junk bit and start working around, but I can go right straight to this. And we'll bring out the specialty tools for other things, but all right, let's do her up here. I destroyed that bit. So I'm putting this on here. I'm gonna, yeah, so this is a pointy bit before it becomes a pointy bit. So here's what one looks like. These are called broom bits, but here's what they look like after no time at all. So I'm using this still brush-like to get down in this gap here and clean up some of this grossness that's down there in the ventilation area. Yeah. Okay, let's see what happens here. Okay, now I think I'll do a nylon bit, and then we'll do some repairing, and then we'll do some assembling and treating and all that fun things. All right, let's give this beautiful lantern a little working on here. All right, so I just happened to notice while I was doing that this was just hanging. But I want to make sure that all this stuff's gonna fit. So let's do a little test fitting here. Make sure that that fits. I'm sure that'll be just fine. I just gotta bend these back, that's all. Oh, I remember this one. It's super thick. Oh boy. This one's gonna be a pain in the ass. All right. So, let's do a test fit. That goes in there. First, I want to see. All right, so we've got a little bit of an issue here. And is this hole? I'm assuming it's kind of filled up with solder, and that's why it's a little small. So I'm gonna whisk away some of the solder to see if that hole's any bigger. Otherwise, I'd either have to modify this or the hole for this to fit. All right. Okay, well, first of all, let me clean up this, get all these globs of solder off there. See if that fits any different, because I am covered in some globs here. All right. Okay, I'm just going to have to widen that hole by an ever so slight amount. Okay, well, this will be interesting. All right, let's get things out of the way here. Oh, I can't believe I just did that. Oh, Jesus Christ. Man, I am a bull in a china shop, I'll tell you what. All right, well, I'm going to knock off some more solder blobs, see what I'm dealing with here. All right, well, that got us in there, but oh yeah, we got to come down. We got to come down a little bit more. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right. Okay. Now we're talking. I can still come down a little bit more. Shit. And I broke that blade off. Son of a. All right. That ain't going nowhere. Okay, so I think we got it here. Unfortunately, we made these holes bigger. Okay, so I think that's what we want right there. Let's see if we can fill some gaps. All right, once we get a little anchor established, I'll feel better about anchoring some stuff here. Or you know what I mean, yeah. All right, so I'm gonna lay a little pool of it down right down right about there. That should hold the whole darn structure together. Beautiful. All right, I got to change the angle a little bit. See if I can get an anchor up here. Okay. Okay, let's see how we did here. Okay, great. We got fill on the back. All right, so that was, that was kind of a first having to adapt that like that. Of course, I have made a couple Frankenstein lanterns, so maybe I'm wrong about that. And by the way, I've had a number of D-lights where that never, that never did a thing there. I suppose I could try to bend that and then tack it a little bit. Could try that. Should have thought about that earlier. I'll see if I can bend that a little bit. I don't think I can. I will try. Yeah, maybe I can. I'll see. Let me see if I can lay down a little something right down in there. Okay. I forgot what I was doing for a minute. I'm like, what am I soldering here? All right. Yeah, I'll see if I can put a little blob down in there. That'd be great. If I could do that, it'll look custom or, factory, right? Okay, let me warm that up a little bit. All right, let me clean up my mess here so I can reassess. All right, I think we did good. Now I just want to get rid of all that flux and everything because that's going to look like crap when we go to treat it because this pasty crap is all over everything. This had more repairs in it than I had thought it was going to end up having, but that's cool. That's cool. We did things. Okay, so sometimes when it comes to getting this acetone off or this flux off of here, me pushing it around with this acetone on a brush, it isn't removing it, it's just kind of pushing it around because I can feel I can feel the gloppiness, and you can see it. See it there. Of course, this is acetone, so it's, you know, literally taking any kind of blemish off anything anyway. So I think I'm going to steel wool now before we reassemble, because we got a lot of parts off. That would be a lot easier to do while they're off. Actually, let me go wash my hands first, because I have acetone and all kinds of crap on here. And then we'll steel wool and we'll do our thing. Boom! All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so, well, let's put this together here. All right, so you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna throw some fuel in this, and we are gonna fuel this baby up. Okay. Dyed red kerosene. Click. Okay. So all we need to do is keep an eye on the wick for a nice pinkish hue to take over the white cotton there. And let's throw the globe. Let's throw the D-Light globe in here. I'm just seeing oil in the little seams, so I'm kind of cleaning them up a little. This is beautiful, by the way. Beautiful. Well, we might have achieved pinkish hue.
Is there a pinkish hue? A pinkish hue? Yes, a rosy glow.
There we have it, folks. DIETZ WIZZARD. Wow, my shop is destroyed. I'd bring out all tools for this sucker. All right, let's give it a look over. Well, here we go, folks. DIETZ WIZZARD. Man, this looks great. This just looks great. No, it looks great. It looks great. If you didn't know what you're looking for, you wouldn't be able to tell. So we're well anchored everywhere. We got all kinds of good anchor in there. We got it showing through on the back, so we got plenty. And we got a good little tack there. Tack here. Got that fixed up. Great. Now we're gonna light it up. Yes, we are. And so here we have it, folks. DIETZ WIZZARD. Excellent. And this one is staying with me. This one ain't going nowhere. This stays in my collection. It's beauty. It's a 1915, made in New York City. I think I only have, out of, I don't know, well over 100 lanterns I've had. Lots of DIETZ, probably mostly DIETZ. I've only had, I think maybe this is the third one made in the New York plant. Or the New York City plant, as opposed to Syracuse, New York, or the S, where you would see the S. Anyway, hey, that's going to do it for this baby, but we're going to fire it up. Let's fire it up. Okay. Supervisor baby over there, and we'll turn him down a little bit. Yeah, he's a trooper, man. He was here through this whole experience. Okay, so let's fire this baby up. What do you say? There we have it. Wow, that flame looks great. All right, I'm going to turn Supervisor Baby's had a long day. I'm going to turn him off here. Ooh, and he's almost out of fuel. Here we have it, man. Look at that, burning great with a vintage wick. Nice. All right, folks. We have done it. We have finished the Wizzard. And folks, thank you so much for stopping by. And until next time, hey, don't you go changing.
We'll be back with the Magic Tunes for the Armada Room's 2-hour disco swing party after this short break. Till then, don't you go changing.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.